10 lakhs. Sir. ప్యాకేజ్ గురించి మీరు ఎంట్రీ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ చేసిన బట్టి మీరు ఎంట్రీ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ చేసిన బట్టి మీరు ఎంత డిమాండ్ చేయొచ్చు. Good evening, guys. Online candidates, all are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box. Good. So thanks for confirmation. Today we are going to understand what is DevOps. What is DevOps? Guys, observe carefully. Already I have explained this. Right, so we have development team is available. I'm not going to draw complete diagram, guys. Right, we have development team is available. Assume in my development team 3 members are working. In my development team 3 members are working, guys. I have one development team. This is my development team, guys. What development team will do? They will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming languages. Development team will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming language. Once development is completed, first they will test their functionality in their local missions. Right. If they confirm everything is working as expected, then they will upload that code into the source code repository. They will upload that code into the source code repository. This is the source code repository. Here, as a source code repository, what we are going to learn, guys? Source code repo. So what we are going to learn? Here we are going to learn GitHub. GitHub is a source code repository here. Right. Once development is completed, they will upload this code into the source code repository. Okay, with this development activity completed. Right. So meanwhile, here we need to set up the infrastructure also. Here I have the AWS cloud. In the AWS cloud, this is AWS cloud. In the AWS cloud, we are creating one EC2 instance. We are creating one EC2 virtual machine, guys. Linux virtual machine we are creating. This is my Linux virtual machine. EC2 Linux virtual machine we have created. Inside the Linux virtual machine, I have installed the server. inside the Linux virtual machine. Now inside this server, I need to install the application, guys. Here I have Tomcat I have installed in the Linux virtual machine, guys. See here, that infrastructure also ready. Infrastructure, everything is ready. Developers are develop the application as per client requirement, and they have uploaded the code into this repository. So now what DevOps engineers need to do, guys? They need to clone the project from the GitHub repository. They need to clone the project. First step, guys. What they need to do? Here, first they need to clone the project. Clone the project from repository. From repository, they need to clone the project. Next, guys, they need to build the project, guys. Build the project, and they need to upload the artifact in the repository. Upload the artifact in the repository. Upload the artifact in the repository. Next, guys, they need to perform the code review. They need to perform the code review. Next, guys, right, they need to deploy the, right, they need to create the Docker image. Right, create the Docker image. Create Docker image. Right, upload the Docker image into the GitHub repository. Upload the Docker image into GitHub repository, sorry, into Docker Hub repository. Docker Hub registry, guys, this is the public registry. Upload the Docker image into Docker Hub. Next, guys, deploy the image into the cluster, guys. Deploy the image into the cluster or server, guys. Deploy the image into the server. Right, so this is deploy the image. Right, deployment, guys. Deploy the application into server. See, guys, these steps, who will do these activities, guys? Who will do all these activities? All these activities will be performed by DevOps engineers only. Who will perform these activities? DevOps engineers only, guys. Developer will develop the application and they will upload the code into the repository. Once development activity is completed, DevOps team will come into the picture. Right? As of now, call it as operations team. Forget about DevOps. Right? Once development activity is completed, operations team will come into the picture. What operations team will do? Right? They will clone the project from the repository. They will build the project and they will, whenever you build the application, artifact will be generated, whether it is a jar file or WAR file. If your application is standalone application, then jar file will be created. If your application is web application, then WAR file will be created. So whatever the artifact is created, that artifact we need to upload into the artifactory repository. Here, which one we are using as artifactory repository? Guys, please respond. Online candidates. Reshma, which one we are using as artifact repository? I want a response from you guys. What we are using? GitHub is artifact repository. GitHub is a, oh my god, SonarQube is not artifact repository, man. Right? It is a code review tool. Right? Here, as a artifact repository, we are going to use Nexus or JFrog. We are going to use Nexus or JFrog as the artifactory repository. Here, we need to build the application. Whatever the developers are implemented, right, that application we need to build. To build that application, what build tool we are using? Guys, you guys know the tools names at least first. Then we will understand internals. First, you guys should know the tool's name and what is the purpose of each and every tool. Right here, to perform the build activity, we are going to use Maven. To clone the project from the repository, we are going to use Git client software. By using Git client software, we will clone the project from the repository. By using Maven, we will build the project. Right here, as a artifactory repository, we are going to use either Nexus or JFrog. We need to upload the artifact into the repository. Next here, we need to perform the code review. To perform the code review, which tool we need to use? Shiva, which tool we need to use to perform code review? Sonar we need to use. Right, we are using Sonar to perform the code review. Right here, we need to create the Docker image. Right here, if you want to create the Docker image, first you need to create the Docker file. From the Docker file, we need to build the Docker image. Whatever the Docker image you have created, that image we need to upload into the registry. Here we have two types of registries are available. Public registry and private registry. Here, Docker Hub is a public registry where you can upload your images inside the Docker Hub. Inside the public registry, whatever the images are available, those images anybody can access. From outside, anybody can access. Suppose if your images wants to use only your project members, right? I don't want to give the access to outside people. My images should use by my company members only. Then we need to create one private registry and we need to upload those images into the private registry. Here as a public registry, we are using Docker Hub. We need to create the account in the Docker Hub to upload the images into Docker Hub, guys. Next, here we need to deploy the application right into the server, guys. So these activities will be performed by the operations team only. Guys, have a look into this. Who will perform these activities? Operations team. If you go to any project, we can see two types of teams. One is the development team. Second one is the operations team. What the development team is doing, they will develop the application as per client requirement and they will upload that application into the repository. Next, operations team will come and they will perform all these activities to deliver the project to client. Right, guys. Earlier, so these activities, guys, here whatever the activities will be performed by the operations team, that is the manual process. Whenever developer commit the code into the repository, how many number of times developers will commit the code in a day? They can do any number of times. They can do 100 times also, guys. If they make any changes in the code, they need to commit the code into the repository. They can do any number of times. Whenever developer commit the code into the repository, immediately operations team should perform all these activities. Suppose if a developer is uploading the code 100 times, so operations team also should perform these activities 100 times. If operations team wants to perform these activities 100 times, how much time is required? Lot of time is required, guys. To avoid that manual things, to avoid that manual process, right? DevOps came into the picture. By using DevOps, what we are doing, we are automating this delivery and deployment process, right? Right, guys. And here, what we are going to do, right? So, DevOps culture came into the picture. With this DevOps culture, what we can do, guys? We can automate this process, guys. Whatever the deployment process is there, if you want to deploy the application, all these steps are mandatory. All these steps we are automating by using DevOps culture. Understood, guys? Right. Now tell me. Guys. Right. Anyone take the initiation and please tell me what is DevOps. You guys need to respond. What is DevOps? Okay, very good. Very good. Right. See, guys, observe carefully, guys. DevOps is not a programming language. It is not a programming language, right? It is not a framework, right? And it is not a tool. See, guys, is it programming language? No. Is it a framework? No. Is it a tool? No, guys. It is not a programming language, it is not a framework, and it is not a tool. Then what is this? DevOps? DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a culture. Right? DevOps is a process. DevOps is a culture. Right? So it is a process, and it is a set of practices. DevOps is a culture, it is a process, and it is a set of practices. It is not a programming language, it is not a framework, and it is not a tool. Just it is a process. Just it is a culture. Just it is a set of practices. By using this DevOps culture, what we can do? By using this DevOps culture, we can automate the we can automate the delivery and deployment process. We can automate the delivery and deployment process, guys. Before DevOps, this delivery and deployment is a manual process, guys. By using this DevOps culture, what we are doing, right? We are automating the delivery and deployment process, guys. Right? Have a look into this. Please read the statements once. With this DevOps culture, what we can do? We can deliver the project to client easily and quickly. DevOps is a culture, or it is a process, or it is a set of practices. Anything you can call. Just it is a culture, or it is a process, or it is a set of practices. By using this culture, what we can do? We can automate the delivery and deployment process. Okay, right. DevOps is a combination of development plus operations. Development plus operations. What does it mean, guys? What does it mean? DevOps is a combination of development plus operations. Means what? Operations team should know the development also. DevOps person should know the development also. No, guys. No. And here, because of this DevOps culture, development team and operations team both are working collaboratively. Right? So because of this DevOps culture, development team and operations team both will work collaboratively, guys. That's why we are saying it is a combination of development plus operations. Right? With this DevOps culture, with this DevOps culture, right, both development team and operations team will work collaboratively. Both will work collaboratively, guys. Right? Both together will work, guys. With this DevOps culture, both development team and operations team will work collaboratively. Right? If you go to any program, any project, if you go to any project, we can see below two teams, guys. What two teams we can see, guys? One is development team. Right? Second one is operations team. Guys. If you go to any project, we can see below two teams. One is the development team. Second one is the operations team. What development team will do? Development team will develop the applications as per client requirement by using some programming languages. Development team will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming languages, and they will upload that code into source code repository. See, guys, what development team will do? Development team will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming languages, and they will upload that code into the source code repository. Next, guys, here what operations team will do, guys? Once development activity is completed, Once development activity is completed, operations team will come into the picture. Operations team will come into the picture. Right, once development activity is completed, then operations team will come into the picture, guys. What this operations team will do, guys? Operations team will clone the project from the repository and perform the build and build the application and build the project right. So what operations team is doing, guys, it will clone the project from the repository and it will perform the build operations. Right, next what it will do, right? So whatever the artifact is created, that artifact will upload into the source code repository. Guys, observe carefully here. What operations team is doing, guys? Operations team will clone the project from the repository and they will, wait 1 minute, guys, or else we'll make it like this. Right, they will package the code and right, they will deploy the application into server. Read it, guys. Guys, please read the statements once. What is the DevOps? Just read the statements, guys. DevOps is not a programming language and it is not a framework and it is not a tool. Then what is this? Just it is a culture. Just it is a process. Just it is a set of practices. By using this DevOps culture, we can automate the delivery and the deployment process. Right here, DevOps is nothing but what? Right, it is a combination of development plus operations. Right, guys, don't feel, by seeing this statement, don't feel DevOps team should know the development also. No, guys. The meaning for this is development team and the operations team both should work collaboratively. Right. So once this DevOps came into the picture, with this DevOps culture, both teams are working collaboratively. Then only they can able to deliver the project quickly, guys. Right. See, right, I am the developer. Assume I am the developer, guys. DevOps team is the DevOps person who make this infrastructure and all. That person is working other project, guys. Guys, remember one point. DevOps person should work multiple projects simultaneously. Right? For every project, dedicated development team is available, dedicated testing team is available, but dedicated DevOps persons are not available, guys. Right? Always DevOps engineer should work for multiple projects simultaneously. Right. So now for my project, DevOps team created one infrastructure and they have given to me. I have started the development and I am uploading the code into the repository. Automatically that CI/CD pipeline is triggering, right? Build process, deployment process, everything is going on. Right. Meanwhile, that the DevOps engineer will work in other project. He won't sit with us, guys. He won't sit with us. Simultaneously, he will work for other project also. Now, whenever issue came, whenever my pipeline failed, immediately we will call that a DevOps person. He will come and he will go through that logs. What is the problem? He will check and he will tell to us, guys. We need to fix that issue and again we need to continue our work, guys. And if you don't have the proper collaboration with that DevOps team, right, he will come, guys, when you call. Right, when you got the issue at that time, he will come and support with you. No, right? No, that's why both persons should work collaboratively, then only you guys can deliver the project quickly to the client. If you want to deliver the project quickly with quality, right, compulsory you both should work collaboratively. With this DevOps culture, both teams will work collaboratively, guys. And if you go to any project, we can see two types of teams. What two teams are available? Development team is available and operations team is available. Development team will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming languages and they will upload that code into the source code repository. Once development activity is completed, then operations team will come into the picture. Here operations team is who? DevOps team only. Right? If the DevOps team wants to work, right, first developers should upload the project into the repository. Then only DevOps activities will start, guys. DevOps activities means what? These are the DevOps activities. Cloning the project from the repository, build the project, right? Upload the, when you build the project, artifact will be generated. Upload the artifact into the repository, code review, all these are the DevOps activities. If you want to perform these activities, first development should complete, right? And you should upload the code into the repository, right? That's why here I have mentioned, see guys, once a development activity is completed, then operations team will come into the picture. What operations team will do? They will clone the project from the repository and they will package the code and they will deploy that application into the server. Guys, please read the statements. If anyone have any doubt in any point, please, you guys can ask now. Please go through the statements. Today, you guys should get what is the DevOps, guys. You guys should get what is DevOps. Please go through the statements. Already I told, in the classroom only you guys need to understand everything. Don't go with right doubtful things, guys. Whatever you have the doubts, please clear itself. Clear everything here only in the classroom only. Don't go with the doubts. Everyone should read these statements. First, you guys should know at least what tools we are going to use and what is the purpose of each and every tool. Right, guys. Here, if you want to clone the project, from the repository, which client software we are using, guys? We have several client softwares are available in the market. You can use Git Bash, guys. If you install Git software in your system, along with that, you will get Git Bash application. See here, in my system already Git is available, Git Bash. See guys, Git Bash, like this you will get the Git Bash application. This is my Git Bash application. Using this Git Bash application, right, you can clone the project. At the same time, right, by using putty also, right, we can connect with the system, guys. See, observe carefully, guys. Sorry, I'm going different. Sorry. Here, inside the GitHub repository, I have the project. Now, if I want to download the application, what client software is required, guys? Git client software is required. By using that Git client software, we can clone the project. Okay. Next, guys. Here, as a source code repository tool, what we are going to learn here? GitHub, guys. We have other source code repository tools also. Like Bitbucket is there. Bitbucket also one of the source code repository only. Right. So both, if you know how to work with one tool, remaining all are same. There is no much difference, guys. Okay. So next, guys, here to build the application, which tool we are going to use? Maven we are using it here, guys. To perform the code review, which tool we are using? Sonar we are using to perform the code review, guys. Let me write it here, guys. Don't get confused. Here, first, guys, GitHub, guys. Right? What is the purpose of this GitHub, guys? It is used for. It is a repository. It is a repository where all developers will upload the code. Guys. Where all developers are uploading the code, guys, in the GitHub repository, all the developers will upload the code, guys. Next one is Maven. Maven we are using. What is the purpose of this? It is a build tool. It is a build tool, guys. What this build tool will do? It will compile the project and package the code, guys. And package the code. It will compile the project and it will package the code, guys. Right. Next tool is Sonar Cube, guys. Sonar Cube. What this Sonar Cube will do, guys? Right. We will use Sonar Cube, right, for code review purpose, guys. We will use, right, Sonar Cube. We will use Sonar Cube for code review purpose. We will use the Sonar Cube, guys. Next, guys, here we are going to use Jenkins, guys. What is the purpose of this Jenkins, guys? Jenkins is a deployment tool. To deploy the application in the server, we will use this Jenkins, guys. It is a deployment tool, guys. It is a deployment tool. Right. Next, guys, we are going to understand Terraform, guys. What is this Terraform, guys? To automate the infrastructure creation, right? To automate the infrastructure creation, right, in AWS cloud. In AWS cloud, we are using Terraform, guys. By using this Terraform, what we can do? We can automate the infrastructure creation, guys. And how you will automate, guys? How you will automate? See, guys, I don't have the Terraform. Through UI only, I want to create the infrastructure. I want to create the virtual machine, guys. What you need to do? You need to go to the AWS cloud. You need to go to AWS management console. There, you need to navigate to multiple pages, guys. In the first page, you need to provide the this virtual machine name. In the second page, you need to select the AMI. In the third page, you need to select the key page. In the fourth page, you need to provide the security group. In the fifth page, you need to select the instance type. Like that, you need to navigate to multiple pages if you want to create the virtual machine. Or else, in the single page only, you need to provide all these details. Every time, whenever you want to create the virtual machine, every time you need to provide all these details. What details? Name of the virtual machine, AMI name and instance type, key pair, security group, and other details you need to provide every time. It is time taking the process. Instead of doing that, what you can do? Here you can write one script, Terraform script. You can store that file in the repository. Whenever you want to create the virtual machine, take that script file and run it. Through script also we can create multiple virtual machines. Through UI also we can create multiple virtual machines at a time, guys. Right? So like that, we are automating the infrastructure creation in the AWS cloud by using Terraform. Instead of navigating to multiple pages, instead of providing the details every time, at a time I will write one script file and I will keep that Terraform script file in the repository. Whenever I want to create those resources, I want to create virtual machine, virtual machine related Terraform script file I will create. I want to create S3 bucket, corresponding Terraform script file I have. I want to create database, corresponding Terraform script file I have. So like that, for every resource we will create. For every resource, we will create the corresponding script files and we will keep in repository. Whenever you require, at that time I will take those script files from the repository and I will run it, guys. So like that, we can automate the infrastructure creation process by using Terraform. What next, guys? Next we are going to understand Ansible. We are going to learn Ansible, guys. Ansible. With this Ansible, what we can do? We can configure the softwares. We can configure the packages. We can automate configuration management process by using this Ansible, guys. We will use for configuration management process. Configuration management purpose, guys. Purpose. We will use for configuration management purpose, guys. Configuration management means what we will do? Just we will install the software. That is called configuration management. Next, Docker. Right, with Docker, what we will do, guys? It is a containerization platform. Right, we will create the Docker images. From the Docker images, we will start the containers. Inside the containers, our application will be executed. It is a containerization tool. Containerization tool, guys. It is a containerization tool. Inside the containers, our applications are running, guys. Next, guys, Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm, guys. What is this? It is orchestration tool, guys. By using orchestration tool, what we will do? We will manage the containers which we have created by using Docker, guys. Docker Swarm. It is a orchestration platform. Orchestration platform. Right. By using this, we will manage the containers. We will manage the containers, guys. Whatever the containers you have created by using Docker, those containers we need to manage. To manage the containers, we require one orchestration tool. As the orchestration tool, here we have Docker Swarm and Kubernetes also, guys. Kubernetes also same, guys. Kubernetes also same. Here I will write like Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. Right, these two are what? Orchestration platforms only. By using these tools, we can manage the containers. Right. Next, what we are going to understand, Prometheus, guys. Prometheus. What is this, guys? This is the monitoring tool. Guys. Right. It will monitor the cluster logs, guys. It will monitor the cluster logs, right, and it will give those logs to, right, this one Grafana, guys. What is Grafana, guys? Grafana is a visualization tool. It is a visualization tool. It will analyze the logs and it will display those logs on the right browser, guys, UI, guys. And here Grafana, guys. What is this? It is visualization tool, guys. Right. Next, guys, if you want to monitor the application logs, then we need to go for ELK. Right. ELK we will use, right, to monitor application logs. We will use ELK, guys. ELK stands for what, guys? Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana, guys. Okay, so next, guys, next we have Tomcat, guys. What is this Tomcat? Tomcat is a web server. It is a web server, guys. We are going to learn Tomcat also. Next we have Nexus, guys. And here, what is this Nexus? Artifactory repository tool, guys. Artifactory repository tool. Nexus, guys. And here we have Jira. What is this Jira? Project management tool, guys. This is the project management tool, Jira, guys. See, guys, all these things we are going to learn. Guys, you should know what tools we are learning and what is the purpose of each and every tool. I hope you guys are clear what is the DevOps. See, guys, DevOps is not a programming language and it is not a framework and it is not a tool. Then what is this? Just it is a culture. Just it is a process. Just it is a set of practices. By using this culture, we can automate the delivery and the deployment process. Here, DevOps is a combination of two terms, guys. What two terms? Development and operations. Right? With this DevOps culture, these two teams, development team and operations team, these two teams will work collaboratively. Both will work collaboratively. If you go to any project, we can see these two teams, development team and operations team, both teams are available. Development team will develop the application as per client requirement by using some programming languages. Once development activity is completed, operations team will come into the picture. Operations team is DevOps team. What they will do? They will download the code from the GitHub repository and they will package the code and they will deploy that code into the server. Right, guys? Here, what tools DevOps team is going to use, guys? What tools DevOps team is using? These are the tools, guys. GitHub, Maven, Sonar, Jenkins, Terraform, Ansible, Docker, Docker Swarm, Kubernetes, Prometheus, Grafana, ELK, Tomcat, Nexus, Jira. Right, these are the tools they will use to perform, right, the build and the deployment process, guys. Is this clear, guys? Anyone have any questions? What is DevOps? What tools DevOps team will use? Guys, I'm repeating multiple times. Guys. In classroom only, you guys need to get everything. Is this clear? What is DevOps? And what tools DevOps team will use? Guys, just have a look into these tools once. Right. If you want, you can keep. Right. We need to write the CI/CD pipeline. Right. So for that, uploading into Nexus also. Inside the CI/CD pipeline, we need to add one stage to upload the artifact into Nexus. And if you add that stage, it will upload. You need to tell to the Jenkins what stages it has to perform. And if that stages contains that uploading the artifact into the Nexus repository, it will do. If it won't contain, it won't do. See, in my current project, right now I am working on some migration work. Actually, so earlier they used Java 11 version they used, and Spring Boot, right, 2.x they used, 2.5 they used. Now I'm working on migration part. I need to migrate Java 17, right, and Spring Boot 3.x I need to migrate. Right, here internally my project is using some other projects also. Right, again that project will use some other projects like that. Right, in my project multiple some other projects also I'm using. Right, now what I will do, right, so when I deploy the application, okay, in my local, okay, forget about local, guys, but in live environments, in the server side, what it will do, guys, right, in my application I want to get the jar file or var file of the other application. Right, in my project I'm using other application code also. Right, I need that application jar file or var file in my application, then only my application will work. From where you will get that jar file or var file? Right, in the Nexus already that artifact is there. I will tell to this, array, in the so and so location that artifact is available, please go and take that artifact. Right, so if you want, right, if you in future if you want to use those artifacts, we can take from the Nexus repository. Okay. Sometimes that artifact also won't be created. Right? We need to verify why that artifact is not creating, where you will do that artifact related configuration. So we have some GitLab configuration files are available. In that GitLab configuration files, we need to write the script to generate the artifact and to store the artifact in so and so location. Suppose in local, you can configure that artifact location and everything in the pom.xml file. But when you go for deployment, when you go for servers, right, production environment and all, at that time, it won't take those details from your application. It won't take those details from your properties file. It won't take the details from your pom.xml file. For that, we need to provide separate GitLab configuration file, right? It will take, right, that database details or artifact details, whatever it, all those details it will take from that GitLab configuration files only, not from your application code. Your application code only for local setup, right? But if you go to dev environment, sit environment, prod environment, for those things, separate configuration files we need to create. Right, dev environment, take the details from this GitLab configuration file. Sit environment, you will go and take from that file. Prod environment, you will go and take another file. Like that, separate files we need to create for each environment. Production, right, in the environment side, it won't take from our local, guys. Local is only to test the application in our local system only. Could you please speak little bit loud? I'm not getting voice. Slow voice is coming. How to? Uh, right. So in the Jenkins, when we are going for create the Jenkins job, right? In that Jenkins job, we need to tell from where it has to clone the code, from where it has to download the code. We need to configure our GitHub repository URL and everything, guys. We need to configure, guys, at the time of creating the Jenkins job. Right? In the Jenkins job, wait 1 minute, guys. Let me connect the charger. Right. See, guys, observe carefully. See here, I'm creating one Jenkins job. I'm creating one Jenkins job, guys. In the Jenkins job, we have several stages are available. 1 minute, guys. I will show. Let me check. Is there any job is? Let me check in my AWS cloud. Is there any Jenkins server is there? I will show practically. I will show directly, guys. Here only. 1 minute. So Maven will perform the right packaging and everything. Before doing that, from where we will download the code. Right? So where you will configure the downloading part. Yes, 1 minute. Do I have Jenkins? Yeah. Here I have the Jenkins mission. So guys, here I have the Jenkins mission. Let me start this Jenkins, guys. So now it is stopped, guys. Let me start this Jenkins server. Guys, these are the Linux virtual missions which I have created in AWS cloud, guys. See, in my system, total 12 missions are there. 12 Linux virtual missions are there, guys. Right. So now I have started Jenkins server. The first stage is pending, then it will come to running state. We need to wait until getting running state. Meanwhile, let me open the Git bash. You can connect using Git bash or putty or mobic stream, anything. I'm using Git bash to connect to my Linux virtual machine. Right, running guys. So what is this SSH? Right, all these things we'll discuss. We'll discuss guys. Right. Now we need to start the Jenkins. That is just a virtual machine, guys. Inside that virtual machine, I have installed the Jenkins. Now I need to start the Jenkins server. See, Jenkins server is started. Once Jenkins server is started, and now I need to go to this instances. Let me take the public IP of the Jenkins server. So let me take the public IP of the Jenkins server, guys. Jenkins server, the default, right, by default, Jenkins server will run on 8080 port. Right, that 8080 port you need to enable in the security groups. What is the security group? Why we need to enable the port numbers? We will discuss, guys. Don't worry. Now, let me paste that IP address. Here, Jenkins server is running on 8080 port by default. See, guys, this is the dashboard of the Jenkins. Right here, what is the username password? Let me check. This is the dashboard, guys. This is the Jenkins dashboard. Right here, for every activity, see, we have the different environments are available. Right. I think in today morning batch I explained the environments, guys. Let me show that diagram first. Today morning batch I have explained the environments. See, guys, that generally we will have dev environment, SIT environment, UAT environment, pre-prod environment, production environment, guys. Right, if you want to deploy the application in the dev environment, corresponding job we need to create in the Jenkins. If you want to deploy the application in the SIT environment, corresponding job we need to create in the Jenkins. If you want to deploy the application in the UAT environment, corresponding job we need to create in the Jenkins, guys. In this job, in the dev job, I need to tell from where you need to take the code. In the GitHub repository, so and so branch is available, take the code from that branch. That we need to configure in the Jenkins job only. And we need to configure where you have to deploy this application. Right, that also we need to configure. I need to deploy in the dev environment, the dev environment IP address, port number and everything, we need to configure in this job only, guys. Right, between this activity and this activity, we have one more activity that is called Maven clean package. Maven will build the application and it will create the artifact. That artifact we will deploy it here. See, guys, in the Jenkins job, we need to tell from where it has to take the code. Right, and we need to tell where it has to deploy the code also. Right, between these two activities, one more activity is there, that is the Maven activity. Maven will build the code. Whatever the code you are taking, that code Maven will build and Maven will package that. So that packaged artifact only we will deploy it here. Okay. Now let me show here, guys. In the guys. See here, we need to click on the new item to create the job. Right here, just I am giving the job name as dev job. I am giving just and I am selecting the freestyle project. Click on OK. I will explain what is freestyle project, what is pipeline. We will discuss, guys. Here we have different stages are there. Right, in the source code, right, first this is the general section, guys. Right, in the source code management, here we need to tell, right, select the gate. Here you need to tell where your project is available in the GitHub. What is the URL of your project? Right, so your project URL we need to give. 1 minute. Here, see, guys. Here this is the GitHub repository. This is my GitHub repository, guys. So in my GitHub repository, I have so many projects are available. Around 50 to 60 projects are available in my GitHub repository. You see, all these are the projects only. Right now, I'm going to take this Maven project. Right, I want to download this Maven project. I want to build this project. I want to deploy. And then what we need to do? Click on this code. Here URL is available. Where this Maven project is available, that URL you will get it here. Copy this URL and go to the job. Here we need to provide that URL. Here you need to provide that URL. Now it will download, my Jenkins will download the code from this location. In this location code is available. It will download the code from this location. Okay, next guys, let me go to the build steps. Once code is downloaded, go to the build steps. In the build steps, what we need to do guys? In the build steps, see here build steps is there. Here we need to select this option guys. Right, invoke top level Maven targets. What Maven has to do, here we need to tell. Here Maven at 3.8.6 is installed in my system. Here Maven goal clean package. I want to package the project as a jar file or var file. And it will check your project is the standalone application, then Maven will create the jar file for that. If your project is the web application, then Maven will create the var file for that. After that, here one more step. Right here, build steps. After that, post build action. Once build is completed, what is the next step? Post build. What we need to do? Click on this. Here, go to this post build actions. Here we have the option right to deploy the 1 minute, guys. And here, where I have clicked post build actions. Minute. Here we don't have that, right? If you want to get that var file guys, here you will get deploy AR var to container option you will get. For that we need to add one plugin that is called deploy to container plugin. We need to install in the Jenkins, that we will discuss. How to install that plugin, that we will discuss guys. Here you will get one plugin guys, deploy EAR or var file. Right, so into the container that option you will get. Currently we don't have that option here, means that plugin is not installed. That's why it is not showing that option. Okay, right. So now here I have given only 2 steps guys. What 2 steps? Clone the project and build the project. Save it. Save it guys. So now here, right, go to the dashboard. Go to the dashboard. Here what is the job we have created? Dev job we have created. Let me run this dev job. Dev job is running. Dev job is running. It will perform 2 activities. What 2 activities? Cloning the project from the GitHub repository and build that project. Right guys, now refresh it once. Success. Job is success. Green color means success guys. Now I want to see. Guys. Then what we need to do? See guys, here one number is there. Right, number is there. Success, one time got success. Then click on this number. Click on this number. Here you will get the console output. Click on this console output. Guys, everything we will explain. Don't worry. I will explain everything. See guys, here it cloning the repository from this location. Jenkins is cloned the project, and where it will store it, downloading the project from this location, and it will keep in this location. Jenkins will create one workspace like this guys. Inside the Jenkins, it has created one workspace. Inside the workspace, it kept that project guys. Whatever the project it cloned, that project it stored inside the workspace. Where workspace is available in the Jenkins, we have var folder, lib folder, Jenkins folder, workspace folder. There it has created a workspace with the name dev job. There it kept this project, Maven project. And Maven will perform the build guys. Once Maven perform the build, what it will create guys? It will create the, let's see guys, here building the var file. Maven will build this var file guys. Web app that var file is created. Finally, it finished with success. I want to see what code it is cloned guys. Now go to this location. And here we have the location, right? Go to this location, copy this location, copy, and here there is Jenkins. Go to here. 1 minute guys, it got stuck. 1 minute. Right guys, in here, right here, in the GitHub repository, whatever the files are available here, all the files will be available in the Jenkins. Right, it cloned that project, right? So in that workspace, you can see all these files. All these files you can see in that workspace guys. Now let me show that. So now here we need to go to this location. Which location? CD. Right. Now I'm inside the dev job guys, workspace. Now let me check ls-n. Wow, see guys. Here whatever the files are available, server, web app, git ignore, declarative pipeline 1, declarative pipeline 2, declarative pipeline 3, whatever the files we have here, everything is available at here also. declarative pipeline 1, pipeline 2, pipeline 3, Docker file, Jenkins file, right, server, web app, pom.xml, everything. Here, whatever you can see, everything. See F34, F45. See here also F34, F45. Everything is cloned. Everything is downloaded from the GitHub repository. So like this, we need to configure in the Jenkins job from where it has to clone the project, right, which Maven code it has to execute, and where it has to deploy the project. Everything we need to configure in the Jenkins job only. Ask this question, clear? Fine. Fine, guys. So with this, I'm stopping for today, guys. So with this, I'm stopping for today. Right. Right. So if you want to upload this one in the Nexus or JFrog, for that we need to add one CI/CD stage, guys. Right. You need to create the server. See here, if you go to here in my virtual machines, I have a virtual machine Nexus server. Today morning 7:30 batch, I have explained this Nexus server, guys. Here I have created Nexus server. Inside the Nexus server, we need to create the repositories. We need to create the repositories inside the Nexus server. That repository details we need to configure in the Jenkins, guys. Where you want to upload the artifact. Generally, in the Nexus, we will create two types of repositories. One is the snapshot repository. Second one is the release repository. Snapshot means what? Still our project is under development stage only, not yet completed. Then we need to keep those artifacts in the snapshot repository. Right? Our project is completed. It is going for delivery. Then we need to keep that artifact in the release repository. Right? Like that, we need to create the repositories inside the Nexus. Those repository URLs we need to configure in the Jenkins. Okay? That we'll discuss. We'll discuss all these things. We'll discuss one by one. Clear, guys? Right. Thank you, guys. Right. For today, I'm stopping. Right, guys. Actually, next class I will take on Wednesday, guys. Actually, my son first birthday is there. That's why I'm going to hometown, guys. Right, I'm going to hometown. Again, I will back, right, Wednesday morning, I will come back. Right, I will take the session Wednesday evening, guys. Okay, actually, this is the first weekend, right? Anyway, I won't take the class first weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Right, but Monday and Tuesday also, we don't have the session. Next class will happen on Wednesday, guys. Wednesday evening, 7:30, we have the session. Okay, fine, guys. Thank you, guys. Before coming to next session, please clear the first installment quizzes, guys. Already 3 sessions are there. 3 sessions are completed. And people are asking to share the recordings and class notes. If I want to share the recordings and class notes, I need to create the Telegram group and I need to add the people in that group, guys. Right. Before coming to next session, at least clear first installment quizzes. Then I will create the Telegram group. I will share all the class notes and recording sessions in the Telegram, guys. Fine, guys. Thank you. Right, next session at Wednesday evening at 7:30. Thank you, guys. Good night. First to 50%. 1 month.
Recording stopped.